In this video, we're going to go the opposite from town and head out away from Creede and explore the trails in that direction. So stay tuned. We are heading alongside of the road. We passed where we would go back into town, and we're just heading straight on down. You'll cross the road just before you get to the bridge, and there's a camping area there you can camp at. The view is beautiful. It's not that far of a drive. It's maybe a 10-minute drive from where we're camping, so not too bad to get across the road and start seeing some of the gorgeous mountain roads. And there's a big diversity. I think there's some hunting done out here. They gather wood out here after storms. Any of the fallen trees they can cut up and use for firewood. We ran into some people out here doing that. And you could travel in all different directions here and see tons of countryside. To get out here, you cross 149, which is the main highway, and get on road 523, and you could. That's where all these trails are. One of the things we had really wanted to do, or I had found online, was Spar City, which is an old historic mining town that I thought would be fun. But when we were there, I guess someone had bought the area, and that's completely closed off. You can't get in to see it, so just save you some time. But it doesn't matter. There was tons to do and tons of beautiful area to see, and great riding. You did have to keep an eye on the weather a little bit out there, because some of the trails could get tricky and you're way away and not a lot of cell signal. But all in all, was a beautiful time. We enjoyed it immensely and definitely plan on going back. There's also a couple dry campgrounds there. We don't do dry campgrounds for several reasons, but there are several dry campgrounds there if you want to camp out. In fact, one of the campgrounds was right as you turned onto 523. It's right on the river, so people were camping there, and you could fish right in the river there. It's a beautiful campground. It is right by the road, but it's a beautiful campground. And there's several spots we saw people boondocking out here. There were some areas that could get pretty steep and were a little bit off camber. And there was it was raining quite a bit while we were there. So the storms was a big concern for us. And there was quite a bit of mud too. We just really didn't want to get stuck with us out there by ourselves. It also was not busy at all. We didn't run into maybe one or two other side-by-sides. We did run into a few vehicles, a few trucks out there that were gathering wood and whatever, but there was not a lot of people out there. So at least depending on the area. So maybe the time of the year, but we were there in August, which would have been their peak time. So you're out there, pretty much you have the mountain to yourself to explore. Occasionally you'll pass somebody, but not often at all. It's especially this area. Now, the historic mining loop is a different story. There's a lot of people riding there. But this side, there's not very many people out here riding. These are just a few clips from the one day we rode there. We actually rode out here about 3 or 4 times and took different areas, and there was still riding we didn't do and areas we didn't see. So lots to do. We explored quite a bit, but I just thought I'd give you some clips to give you some ideas what was out on this side of town. Everybody sees the Bachelor Loop and post that, but nobody. I haven't seen any videos out in this direction, so I thought it was fun, and we loved this area. One of the main differences, I think, at the Bachelor Loop is you've got so much of the rock formations and the waterfalls and the flowing water, and you've got a lot of the mining buildings. And that's why that's so popular, and it is absolutely worth doing. We did that several days as well. So both are gorgeous. They just have different views, and it just depends on what you're looking for. If you're wanting to get away from the crowds, this is the way to get away from the crowds. We were a little surprised that we didn't really see any wildlife out here. A marmot, I think we saw, and 1 or 2 deer, but really not very many wildlife out in this area. But the rolling hills and the open country with that beautiful sky, it's just gorgeous. I don't know how, for as far as riding, I don't know how you can get much better than this. It's beautiful countryside. It's not technical riding. If you're looking for a lot of rock formations and a lot of technical riding, this isn't that. It's not Moab. It's not Hurricane, but it's nice, easy, just see the countryside riding. And it's just a fun ride. We took Mom and the puppies with us and had a great time. It was a little cool. You have to make sure you bring a jacket with you because even when it starts out okay, if it rains, it can get cold really quick out here. But gorgeous. Just absolutely beautiful countryside. The next video, we're going to go back into town, look a little bit around town, maybe a museum, a little more of the historic Bachelor Loop, and see what all we can do there and some of the other trails that are there as well. So see you then.